Rumors are that allegedly these two Real Housewives of Atlanta cast members were banned at BravoCon. Who are they? And what happened? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly these two Real Housewives of Atlanta cast members were banned at BravoCon. What's going on? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly BravoCon banned these two Real Housewives of Atlanta housewives. But for what? The source continued. This was so shady of the network to do. These two ladies have worked their butts off to help build and protect the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. So, for these two ladies to be treated this way was completely out of line. The source continued. Real Housewives of Atlanta is a staple in the Bravo universe, and the ladies should be treated like the queens they are. Another source said, these two Real Housewives of Atlanta cast members who were allegedly banned must be furious. They are currently on the show and bring the most star power to the franchise. How could something like this be okayed to happen? The source continued. Real Housewives of Atlanta is always a staple attraction at BravoCon. This decision was definitely a huge mistake. So the question is, who are the two current Real Housewives of Atlanta cast members who were allegedly banned at BravoCon? Well, a BravoCon insider said that Kenya and Kandi were allegedly stopped from having a booth at BravoCon. But why? The industry insider said, fans took major notice of the fact that both Kenya and Kandi were missing booths this year at BravoCon after having the two most popular booths at the event last year. Crazy. Many fans were super disappointed by Kenya and Kandi not having booths at the annual event. The insider continued, people were definitely asking why the dynamic duo didn't have booths. Some said it was punishment for the two speaking out against the show producers over the summer. Other rumors were that the network allegedly banned them from having booths because they didn't want the two to have monopoly over all the vendor space at the event. But between those two reasons, which one is actually factual or the most believable? Well, no one knows. But the biggest speculation at BravoCon was that the network didn't want the two multi-million-dollar brands dominating the marketplace and overshadowing the other Bravo celebrities who have smaller or lesser known brands. The source said, Kandi and Kenya both have the first and third largest brands at Bravo. And the producers of BravoCon knew that their brands and booths would overshadow all of the other ladies' booths and some of their brands at the event. This could have caused huge backlash that they probably didn't want to have to deal with. Sources also believe that Kandi and Kenya might not be too upset about the alleged rumor, simply because their brands are multi-million dollar entities, and to move them to Las Vegas for the weekend probably wasn't worth the hassle. So, with that being said, sources believe there was actually no love lost. Now, kinfolk, when I first heard about this rumor, actually Friday, about Kenya and Kandi not having booths at BravoCon. I didn't believe it. I just figured my source at BravoCon is just got in there too early and the ladies' booths were still being set up. But when it was confirmed that they did not have booths at the event, I pretty much believed this particular rumor. I just automatically thought that the reason why Kenya and Kandi did not have booths or were not either invited to have booths at BravoCon was because of the way they spoke out against the network and producers and the franchise of Real Housewives of Atlanta over the summer. And I kind of felt like that rumor probably was the actual truth regarding why they didn't have a space. Because if you are a viewer of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and if you are familiar with the Bravo celebrity universe or the Housewife universe, you know that over the years, the network and producers have become just as shady as some of the ladies when they don't too much particularly care about certain cast members. We have seen this with Nene, we have seen this with Lisa Rinna, and the list goes on and on. So for the ladies not to be afforded a booth at BravoCon, I just immediately thought that this could allegedly be the network and or producers being shady with the women the same way they probably felt the ladies were being shady with them over the summer. Now, kinfolk, the second part of this alleged snub or banning of the ladies at BravoCon that I can see as being somewhat factual is this. Honestly, I could see Kenya and Kandi having monopoly over the vendor spaces at BravoCon. And honestly, I could see them not really wanting to, move their multi-million-dollar brands clear across the country for the weekend because of all the things that they have to do at BravoCon. And also about the monopolizing effect as well. So, when you are or have the first and the third largest brands, allegedly according to my sources, then all eyes are going to naturally be on you. And the ladies probably didn't want to ruffle any feathers with some of the other housewives or Bravo celebrities with lesser known brands. I definitely can see Kenya and Kandi doing the benevolent thing and wanting those other ladies to get their shine. Even though they don't fool with Marlo like that, Marlo had a booth and it probably would not have picked up as much traffic if Kandi and Kenya both had their booths there. And honestly, if Kandi had her booth there with her multiple brands, I think she would probably even give Kenya a run for her money. So I definitely can see the ladies not wanting the hassle of having to run a booth and also do their stage duties on stage and interviews and all of that throughout the weekend. They probably just saw this for what it was, a fun work trip that they can get away from the kids for a little bit, enjoy themselves, and, get back to work. Now, kinfolk, it is another part of this rumor that I do see being factual, and it can only be factual if you are to believe the rumors that, production or Bravo did not invite Kandi and Kenya to have a booth at BravoCon just to be vengeful or spiteful. And this part of the room that I can actually see as being factual is this. Given how tense the relationship with Kandi and Kenya in the network and producers have been since the summer, I can definitely see the ladies just saying, you know what, we don't want to deal with a booth at BravoCon. The ladies probably could have seen them not being invited to have a booth or not being afforded the opportunity to have a booth as a snub. And to be quite honestly, if that is true, then I don't blame them. Especially if you are to believe the rumors that they were humiliated at BravoCon with that tweet about this being their last BravoCon. Can you imagine the type of energy that would have cast over their booths? Fans coming up to them, telling them how upset they were about the snub on social media and how they feel the ladies are not being treated fairly. And then the ladies dealing with that trauma themselves and having to put on a fake smile in the front for all those fans, signing autographs, taking pictures, and doing interviews, and having to answer questions to interview questions that they simply don't have the answer to. It really all could have just been overload for the ladies. So if you are to believe that the ladies really saw this as a snub and decided not to have a booth at the event and just to come in, do their job, and leave, then no one can be too surprised about that. Because at the end of the day, you know, Kenya and Kandi definitely needed a booth at the event, and they are the two of the biggest celebrities at BravoCon, to be perfectly honest. So it's only quite natural that they do have a booth at this event. Now, in my personal opinion, I honestly think that Kenya and Kandi probably decided on their own accord not to have booths and vendor space at BravoCon. One, because their brands are so large, and it'll be a lot to move their brands cross country just for the weekend. And two, their relationship with Bravo, the network, and producers really is not at the best right now, the best place right now. So they probably want just to get in, do their job, and then just leave. And it seems like that's exactly what they did. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think that Kenya and Kandi not having a booth at this year's BravoCon was intentional and it was actually a spiteful snub by the network and or producers? Or do you think that Kenya and Kandi just decided on their own not to do a booth at BravoCon because it simply would be just too much for them to handle over such a short weekend period? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.